G'day everyone, Connor McDonald here, just back from San Francisco. Another fantastic year, another fantastic OpenWorld. Really enjoyed myself. Love going there every year and doing some talks and just meeting and greeting. But I figured before I hit the sack to try sort out the myriad of jet lag problems that going to San Francisco from Perth yields, I thought I'd give you my highlights for OpenWorld, my sort of top 10 highlights, the things that I like. So without further ado, here are my top 10 highlights for OpenWorld 2018. Number 10, San Francisco itself. What an amazing city. I've been there a number of times for OpenWorlds, never just as a plain tourist, but normally you get maybe half a day either side of the conference or maybe a day each side just to actually spend some time seeing San Francisco. And from a tourist perspective or even an attendee perspective, I love the place. There are so many places to see, so many good things to eat, nice places to have food and have drinks and catch up with friends. But also there's the things that you obviously don't see much where I'm from in Perth. There's the steep streets and the cable cars, and obviously I like to do a bit of shopping as well. In fact, one of the things I love doing in San Francisco is heading down to Fisherman's Wharf and having my favorite clam chowder in a sourdough bowl. Sort of an annual sort of event for me. And of course popping into my favorite restaurant for breakfast, Laurie's Diner. Yes, it's a bit of a cliche, but being in San Francisco, what a perfect place to run an event. Number 9, the ACE Director briefings. Now, I'm no longer an ACE Director. I think the official term is ACE Alumni because I've now joined Oracle Corporation. I suppose alumni is a nicer way of saying ex-ACE Director. But we have these briefings once a year before the conference where ACE Directors, i.e. pillars in the Oracle community who have been noted as being experts in their particular field, get to meet and chat with the product managers of various groups inside Oracle Corporation, in particular around the database area, but also apps and development as well. The cool thing with that is it's a bit of a nice two-way communication. As Oracle, they get to present what's coming in future releases, and it gives the ACE Directors a bit of an idea for what's going to be coming. But also, it's a great way of bouncing ideas off people. People who are ACE Directors generally obviously have been around in the industry for a fair while. They know the industry well. They know what customers are asking for and what the pain points are. So as we present ideas and things like that as to what's coming in future releases, the ACE Directors can basically go, well, that sounds perfect. That's what my customers are desperate for. Or they can say, oh, have you thought about this, perhaps this boundary case that might cause problems, etc. So it's a great way to meet and greet. And being an ex-ACE Director or an alumni, it's just nice to catch up with people who I used to see every year regardless. Number 8 is Code 1. It used to be called Java 1, and I'm not talking about Code 1 specifically. It's more the fact that Oracle OpenWorld and Java 1 used to be very distinct conferences. OpenWorld was generally held at Moscone because of its size, and the Java 1 events was normally held at the Hilton Hotel, which is only a sort of 10-minute walk from the Moscone Center, but as such it was almost felt like two different events. This year Code 1, which obviously encompassed much more than Java, was more sort of intermingled with the OpenWorld event. It was mainly at Moscone West except for some of the keynotes, but as a result, really you were just one floor away from OpenWorld content versus Code 1 content. Similarly, we had the Code 1 Hub, which was a really success story this year. It was like an Oracle Code event mixed in with an exhibition hall from old yore of OpenWorld days. As a result, it had that nice blend of being chilled out, but also lots of nice high-tech demos, and a really nice way of actually going and just hanging out with people and talking tech. I really enjoyed the Code 1 Hub because it just made a much more relaxed sort of situation for conference attendees between sessions. Number 7 for me is some of the cool things coming in 19C next year. In particular, the two that really caught my eye was one called automatic indexing, and that's going to be coming in the autonomous transaction processing offering that we have. The concept of looking at your workload and adding indexes as required. Now, I'd imagine anyone watching this or anyone hearing this for the first time has got the alarm bells going off in their head like, oh, what if it adds too many indexes, etc. What if it adds the wrong indexes? What if things go bad? I'm not going to talk about the feature in detail, but one of the nice things is when I was going through it at the ACE Director briefings and through the sessions at OpenWorld, is a lot of the things that would really sort of raise alarm bells straight away as a DBA or a developer seem to have been covered in terms of the amount of indexes that will be created, making sure we don't do regressions in SQL performance, etc. So I'm sure it'll be a feature that evolves over releases and over times, and I'm for sure people have their criticisms of it. But I think as an opening offering, I think the concept of having something in the background tackling those worst SQLs in your system and constantly trying to improve the overall performance of the system sounds like a pretty impressive strategic direction to me. The other nice thing I liked in 19C was an optimizer feature called real-time statistics. One of the classic problems we often have with SQL performance is when data moves on, but the statistics do not. Now, I'm not just talking about the concept of statistics getting stale over time as we add lots and lots of data. It's more the fact that because one of the common stats we store is low and high values for each column, as time moves on, sometimes what used to be bounding conditions are no longer true. Probably a classic example of that is, for example, timestamps. When we gathered stats, generally the most recent transaction in a table is probably dated today. So that's our upper bound. But obviously as days go on, queries come in for the next day, which is now today, or the following day. So the optimizer sometimes gets bad information because the stats, even though are predominantly up to date, the extremer values are no longer valid. Real-time stats is going to solve that classic problem. Number 6, the Women in Technology breakfast. I went along to that at the Marriott during the week, and I was just blown away by the actual couple of speakers we had there. They were both young and yet very eloquent, spoke really, really well, and spoke really from the heart about some of the initiatives they're looking at doing for younger women out in the community to get involved in coding and science and technology in general. Really enjoyed that and opened my eyes as to some of the things that are going on in the world to encourage women in technology. That throws back to the ACE Director briefing where Penny Averill got up and mentioned the number of senior women in the database organization, and that was astounding as well. It's really cool to see because often people view us as a male-dominated profession in the IT world. Number 5, perhaps not entirely related to the conference, that is my personal favorites when I go to San Francisco. Grab myself some gin from one of my favorite wine stores there, and most importantly, especially with jet lag, got myself a nice bag of coffee delivered, the old Death Wish coffee. I should stress, not a sponsored video, not a commercial, not an official endorsement by Oracle Corporation, just for me. Love the Death Wish coffee, and that's going to keep me going as I try and battle a jet lag over the next few days. Number 4, the Code 1 Awards. At the end of the Code 1 keynotes, they had a small award ceremony for people who got very high valuations on the Oracle Code events from last year. I was there with Tim Hall, plus a number of other speakers from different areas as well. It wasn't about the award itself. We didn't get anything. We just got a small acknowledgement. It's more the fact that both Tim and myself did talks predominantly related to database. And it was nice at a coding event to see that database topics still engage the community. They still have the interest of the community, because I think the world is moving toward an arena where developers are sought after for full stack skills from the database all the way up to the browser or device, etc. You need that knowledge in all the areas. So to get some acknowledgement for the fact that the database is still incredibly important was a really cool thing. Number 3, yes, I'm down to the top 3 now, was the ODTUG event on Tuesday night. Now you might be thinking, oh, that's just an excuse to say, yep, you went to a booze up and it was good fun. But it wasn't. It was more the fact that it was really nice to get into a relaxed atmosphere where it was totally about just chatting with friends and colleagues and people you may not have met, but all have a common interest, and that is the developer community. It was nice just to relax and chill and have a couple of drinks, obviously, but also had a nice band, a couple of guys on piano playing there, made it really relaxed. It was very easy to mingle and wander around. Nice sort of intimate sort of setting, really good time, and my thanks to the ODTUG people for putting that on. Really enjoyed myself. Number 2, the attendees. Yes, you guys who came to my sessions. I really enjoyed doing the talks. Hopefully that came across to you guys. Probably more than the actual rooms I spoke at. The thing I liked probably the most at OpenWorld was the theatre sessions. They were smaller, more intimate things, but in the middle of the exhibition hall. So it gave a much more relaxed sort of atmosphere. People didn't have to worry about having their phones on silent and stuff like that. And we have a small group of chairs and some people standing around, so it made it feel more intimate, and we could have a bit of two-way banter going on. But most importantly, it became a more relaxed way of delivering content. So if you came to the theatre sessions, thank you very much. Obviously, if you came to my room sessions, thank you as well. I hope you enjoyed the content as much as I enjoyed giving it. Number one, well, it was always going to be this, wasn't it? Number one for me, 18CXE. A completely 100% free database with virtually all the options turned on. I say virtually, not all of them, but just about all the options turned on. What an amazing change that's going to be, I think, for developers who use the Oracle database. Now, every single developer in your company can have a complete working set of Oracle software sitting there on their desktop. It's very small, installs very quickly. The Linux port's out now. Windows is coming just around the corner. The opportunity is there, especially in the multi-tenant kind of architecture, and you can have up to 3 PDBs in 18CXE, means the concept of, for example, having central development databases that you could unplug, plug into your local XE instance, do some work on it, send it back to the central one. I think the concept of a Git style check-in, check-out opportunity starts to come into play now at the database level once we talk about things with 18CXE. So many options to play with. That coming out just before the conference was a huge highlight for me. Free product, 100% free for use however you like inside your company. So that's it for me. That's my top 10 highlights of Oracle OpenWorld. Thanks very much for watching. Make sure you click subscribe and like if you like these videos. I'll be back with more tech videos soon. Until then, it's time for sleep or time for coffee, one of the two. Probably asleep. I'll see you soon.